The anticipation is killing me. So this is Hamada Breakthrough. Breakthrough is an interesting game mode. Probably the best comparison I can draw is the operations in Battlefield 1, as it was just straightforward. Capture A, capture B, capture A, capture B, capture A, capture B, all the way to the end. Whereas obviously the grand operations in Battlefield 5 are a lot different. By the way, I'm going to be talking for the next 28 minutes, so buckle up and have fun. Not that anyone will fucking listen. But this is a video. Well, really, it's just the last game that I played of Battlefield 5. This is a video explaining why I'll never play a Battlefield game again. And I'll never buy a Battlefield game again. If anyone wants to buy me the next one, then sure, but I'm not spending any money on it. In my hand, you can't see this, but in my hand I've got a copy of Battlefield 2. It wasn't the first Battlefield I ever played. The first Battlefield I played was Battlefield 1942, but in Battlefield 2, I bought it originally, but I lost my original disc, but maybe like a year later I bought something called the Complete Battlefield Collection. And in the Complete Battlefield Collection you get Battlefield 2, obviously, and then Battlefield 2 Special Forces, Battlefield 2 Euroforce, and Battlefield 2 Armored Fury. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is there was a lot of controversy last year about the whole Premium Pass model for video games. Now, this game, Battlefield 2, claims to have sold 2 million copies, which, you know, fine, it probably did. But for a video game these days, I don't even know whether that's a good amount of people buying a game or a bad amount of people buying a game, I don't know, but 2 million copies sold. This was on PC at the time, so it was 30 quid. I remember buying it new for 30 quid, back when games cost 30 quid. And then I think this add-on DVD disc was another 30 quid, so that's like you know, mid-2000s version of premium. You know, it basically, you bought Battlefield 2 with whatever core game modes it had and whatever core maps it had and all the rest of it. And then after 3 months or 6 months, you wanted some fresh content or whatever. And then these game modes came out and they were great. And it was, you know, the mid-2000s version of Premium Pass. Now, what made that fantastic to me is that whole model. I never had a problem with that model ever. Is that it was a game I loved, a game that apparently 2 million people bought, and, you know, let's say even if only 50% of them loved it, 1 million people loved, and they wanted to keep that content fresh and experience more of it in new modes and new maps and all the rest of it. So that model was amazing, and what it guaranteed was it guaranteed new content, fresh content for another 6-12 months, and you really thought for £60 total, you really got a lot of content. Now, move forward to 2016, I think with Battlefield 1, you got the core game, which cost 60 quid, so, you know, economies of scale, whatever, between 2005 and 2016, 30 quid becomes 60 quid, whatever. And then I think for another 40, 50 quid, 60 quid maybe even, you had premium as well, so 120 quid total, which is basically double what Battlefield 2 plus all its content cost. Over the you know, 15 months, say, you had a game that people cared about fixing and people cared about updating because you were subscribed to a premium model that guaranteed for the next 12 months you were guaranteed a certain amount of content. Now, whether, let's say Battlefield only has a core of 200,000 players that care about Battlefield and will buy Battlefield no matter what. That's not a ridiculous number in my opinion. There are people that care about game franchises, all sorts of game franchises, and will buy it and will buy every single thing that game franchise has to offer, regardless of fucking, you know, how terrible it has become. Battlefield hasn't become terrible, but I'm one of those people that, you know, previously, yeah, I'll buy into your model, I will buy your content. Now, when Battlefield 1 came about, I think Battlefield has always struggled compared to things like Call of Duty and years ago things like Medal of Honor, because it was a AAA game, whatever AAA means anymore. But it never really competed with Grand Theft Auto 5, say, or it never competed with Call of Duty Black Ops 3 in just the sheer numbers of people buying it. So to sort of like get round that, or sort of engage more people and to grow the community of Battlefield 1 really became a game that was way more accessible, in my opinion, especially after Battlefield. I mean, Battlefield 3 knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. It was a great Battlefield. There was a lot of things wrong with it at the start, but whatever. As it grew and grew, that game became really polished. But the community still didn't. The community didn't exponentially grow like with other franchises, you know. Battlefield 4, when it launched, I'm sure there was a big hype train, but that game was broken to hell when it came out. So anyway, so you get to Battlefield 1, when it came out, really well polished, but there were lots and lots of problems. You know, the vaulting system was still broken now in Battlefield 5. Grenade spam was horrendous. I mean, literally, I mean, there were entire maps. I mean, I'm an average player probably, but you know, like, sometimes I can go like 30-40 to kills to about 5 or 6 deaths, depending on whether I've got cohesive team play. I like to play with 1 or 2 other people that usually like the team play model and like playing the objectives and stuff like that. But you know, I do play on my own as well sometimes. But I'd go entire games where I wouldn't get killed in a gunfight. I'd only get killed by grenades or AT rockets and stuff like that. And so to me, it was like, well, I've got a gun, they've got a gun, but there are 50 other ways in which they can more effectively kill me. They can lie down behind a fucking tree, spam grenades in my general vicinity, and something's gonna kill me, you know. And so getting, I don't care if I get killed in Battlefield, but you know, outgun me. If we're having a gun battle, let me try and use my wit or your wit or whatever. Even if I get killed by a grenade, you know, you're trying to flush me out of a location, because I'm hunkered down or whatever, and I'm getting a couple of kills, and you wanna flush me out of a location by killing me with a grenade, a well placed grenade. Fine. But when you're trying to play the objective and you're going into an area and there's literally no safe spot or no respite from anything because there's just constant explosion. Anyway, so that was what plagued Battlefield 1, in my opinion. By the way, the other thing that plagued Battlefield 1 and has definitely transferred into Battlefield 5 is, I think that sniping in previous Battlefields, Battlefield 2, 3 and 4, it was very much a skill sort of game. I mean, you know, I remember you'd go into a 64-player match and maybe 2 or 3 people on each team were snipers, 2 or 3 at the most, and you know, they'd be 200, 300, 400 meters away even, and they'd be, you know, in their little sniper cove, and there was ways of dodging them and avoiding them and all the rest of it, and, or engaging them or counter sniping and such stuff like that. But those sniper players were never really the big influence on the outcome of the match. They never were. They were just a couple of guys that was their craft, and that's fine. I don't mind it, even, let's say in Battlefield 5, I don't care if 63 people on the map say sniping's their thing, and I don't, you know, this is my class. I just don't believe that to be the case. Unfortunately, sniping has become so easy since Battlefield 1. You know, the blind donkeys with hoof hands can master sniping, and now this map that you see in the footage of now is Breakthrough on Hamada, and this to me is the worst example of game design, and this is the primary reason which I'm done with Battlefield, and I'll never be playing or purchasing a Battlefield game again. And the reason for that is, and I'm not salty, I can take having a negative KD occasionally. I can, you know, I can take it if I've been outgunned or out thought in something like that. But so Hamada on Breakthrough. Now Breakthrough to me is Battlefield version of Operations, a game mode that I loved in Battlefield 1. Now there are grand operations in Battlefield 5, they're structured very differently, and I'm not a massive fan of them, especially when you're assaulting. When you're assaulting and you're jumping out of a plane over and over and over again, and you're just such easy pickings. Anyway, so So you have two teams, one defending 2 objectives, one attacking 2 objectives, for at least for the first sector. Sometimes the second sector becomes 1 objective or 3 objectives, whatever. Now, Hamada, your spawn point, your default spawn point, is 200 meters downhill, and you're attacking 2 objectives over open ground uphill, with a multitude of angles from which defenders can pick you off. And given the fact that sniping's so bloody easy in Battlefield 5, sorry, you just pick it's just a turkey shoot. It's just an absolute turkey shoot. Now there are certain ways to counter this, obviously. If you had, say, a medic on your team, they can smoke off the defenders to block their sort of line of sight while you push onto them. But people don't play medic because the class is so gimped. They have SMGs and they have an effective range really of about 10 yards. And when you're attacking over 200 meters, useless. So the smoke options are. The second option is vehicles, pushing objectives in vehicles. Vehicles are just, mobile coffins in Battlefield 5. I like the fact that players can destroy vehicles and stuff like that, and you don't want classes to be too unbalanced where vehicles are just the meta or anything like that. But they're just mobile coffins. Now the third option, obviously, I like playing assault class the best. Is to sort of like tactically move towards the objectives. Duck and weave in amongst the rocks, push objectives, suppress players, push forward, suppress players, push forward, etc., etc. But on Hamada breakthrough on assault, it's impossible. Yeah, you're attacking 200. I mean, I'm 253 meters from B in the footage that's currently going on. I've just spawned in my default spawn. I'm 250 meters from the objective, going along open ground. Now you might think, well, why am I not taking the outside flank routes, or why am I not taking this flank route? You can't. All of those channels are cut off by people sniping, and so by the time you get anywhere near an objective, you've used your med pack and you're one or two shots away from just being dead. There's so many camping spots for defending players. There seems to be no cohesion between attacking players either. I mean, one of the biggest things that you seem to see players doing on Battlefield when they're attacking or defending is they find a sweet spot where where they're out of line of sight from snipers or something like that, or where you've already locked down an objective. Let's say you've locked down A. You've got A and B. Let's say you've already locked down A. So obviously to progress the game you have to attack B. But why bother? If I go and attack B, I'm just going to get killed by all the snipers that are overlooking B. And by attacking B, we might lose A. So people just sort of find a little spot with relative safety or respite from the defending forces, and just they get a kill every 30 seconds, every minute or whatever, and it works out great for them because they have a positive KD. They lose the match obviously because they're not attacking objectives, but they've got a nice little KD at the end of it, so that's most rewarding for some players, I guess. Personally, not really for me. I like to win matches, but on Hamada breakthrough, when you're attacking, it really is you must be a glutton for punishment if you want to play this and you enjoy this game mode. So anyway, so on this current map, I have an assignment. Now there's assignments in Battlefield 5, as many people who play Battlefield 5 know, for different cosmetic skins for weapons. And the particular assignment I'm on is where I have to get 20 kills while attacking an objective. So in this game I think I get about 37 kills or something like that. And unfortunately not all of them register, and that's a common problem in this game mode. And in this game, a lot of the things that you do that should count towards assignments just don't count towards assignments, and that's pretty frustrating. I've been on this particular assignment for about you know, 5 or 6, 7 or 8 games now, and just getting no progress, because obviously it resets at the end of it. You either get 10 kills while assaulting objectives and a life, which maybe if you're John Wick you're gonna get, or you've got a dedicated medic team or something like that, or you're just incredibly, you know, you must be way out of my skill range if you're managing that in one life. Some people I'm sure do, and I'm probably just a noob, but I've not managed to get it. Now there's a couple of problems as well that I have with the game. I mean, obviously to me this game mode could be fun, but too many of the offensive team like to sit 100-200 meters off the objective and snipe. And there's 3 classes, but there's 3 viable classes now to snipe with. Assault you can snipe with quite easily with a 3x scope. Support you can snipe quite easily with a KE7 and a 3x scope. And obviously sniper you can snipe all day to your heart's content. You know, so there's no incentive to attack an objective when you're the attacking team, because you're just going to get killed. So it's just best to just chill out 100-200 meters off the objective and just, you know, get kills every 20, 30, 40, 50 a minute, you know. And you end up with a nice little KD at the end of it. I mean, I don't know what the rest of my team's KD is. I mean, occasionally I have a look at the scoreboard to see how many deaths I've got, because I'm a glutton for punishment by constantly attacking objectives. But maybe they've got really positive KDs, and maybe, you know, that's the way to play the game. You're not going to win a match by doing it, but they're certainly getting a decent KD out of it. Anyway, so yeah, 3 classes you can snipe with, and 1 class is completely redundant. So not a great state of affairs. And the other thing is, I mean, like I said, the people who came up with this game, this particular map, maybe this particular map works on Conquest. From what I've heard, people say it doesn't. It certainly doesn't work on Grand Operations when you're parachuting in. It is absolutely ridiculous. But on this game mode, on Breakthrough, it is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous when you're the attacking team. I've been on the defending team on this, and I think I got like 60 something kills. To relatively few deaths, because it's just so easy. And if I get this, and I was pretty much disgusted with myself, I know that sounds daft, but if I ever get this map on defense, I'd quit out of it, because I just think I'm not going to do that to other people. Because do I want to contribute to the reason why this game is bleeding players? Do I want to do that? Do I want to be one of the reasons why people just say, you know what, I'm not going to play Battlefield 5 anymore? There's no premium pass. I'm not tied into. I mean, that was the other thing about premium pass as well. Now, I have pre-ordered Battlefield games for a while now, and stuff like that. And when there was a premium model in place, and I bought the game before launch, say 2 months before launch, so I could get access to the beta, or 3 days early access, or whatever it was. I'd be sort of tied down to that game, because I've made a £100 investment or whatever. But you know, I'd be tied down to that game for 12-15 months because I'd spent money on it. There's no premium model anymore, so I've got no reason to play this game anymore. I've played it now for what, 2-3 months. It's been out. I've got my 50 quid's worth out of it. No, I paid 80 quid. That's not lying. I paid 80 quid to get the Super Deluxe edition, which I got nothing for. You know, so I've probably got my money's worth. I've spent more on video games and got less. So I don't need to play it anymore. Now, I don't know what the general consensus is among people who have bought this game, whether they're still playing it 2-3 months down the line, whether people are excited for the new content next week. I don't know what the situation is, but there's no reason for me to log into this game anymore. Whereas when there was a premium pass model, I'd log back into it, because I'd made the investment. I'd spent my money, and given myself good reason to continue to play it because of that investment. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, if the game, say if Battlefield 1 was truly awful and there was nothing for it, and I'd spent 100 quid, yeah, I wouldn't carry on logging into it just to justify the £100. I would be done with it. It just so happens that the 100 and whatever pounds I spent on Battlefield 1, I felt the game was of a good enough quality to eke my money out of you know, for give my time to justify the spending of the money. Whereas with Battlefield 5, 80 quid in, I feel ripped off for one, and I feel like I've played enough of it to sort of break even, if that makes sense. You know, any other financial. So at the minute, I'm that spawn beacon totally looked like an enemy spawn beacon. At the minute, I'm trying to attack B, which is 120 something meters away. There are at least 5 or 6 snipers to my left up the hill. Those guys are camping there. They're having a whale of a time farming kills. Up on the left on the hill and directly in front of me. By the way, I'm attacking uphill. I don't know if you've noticed that, but that's an uphill attacking of an objective. Bit of potato aim there. That guy should have been dead, but obviously not. I think I finish him off now, yeah. And then there's about three of his buddies to replace him around the corner here. I don't know what happened here, but my gun just kept going upwards. I tried lying down, but my character bounced back up like he's got springs legs. And then my buddy gets killed as well, so that's great. So yeah, so for the next 143 tickets, I just keep throwing myself at the B objective to try and get these 20 kills in a round. And just to progress the game, you know, I mean, like, it's selfish of me for trying to complete an assignment while playing a game. Well, you know, that's the other thing as well. These assignments, they're quite frustrating for a number of reasons. One, you complete an assignment, you have to completely come out of the game. So let's say that you're in a 64-player server where the teams are quite balanced, 32 on each team. They're quite balanced, and you're playing through the map rotation. You've got your squad. Let's say you're playing with your mates. Let's say there's 3 or 4 of you playing together. So you complete an assignment 5 minutes into a map rotation. So to bring the next assignment about, you have to leave your squad, leave your pals in that game, go back out to the main screen, which is like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, just of loading screens, and then switch the assignments out, come back into the game if you don't get put into a queue. Go back into the game, start the next assignment, or if you're playing in a solo situation, come back out, try rejoining, and it just so happens that you get switched teams, or you get put onto a different map, or there could be so I've had a situation where I've been doing assignments and I've been going into different rotations of different people's, like let's say there's 5 Narviks running at once and 5 Hamadas running at once. I've been into a situation before where I've had like Narvik 5 or 6 times in a row. I don't want to fucking play Narvik 5 or 6 times in a row. I don't want to play Narvik full fucking stop. But the search system, I play on PlayStation 4, the search system seems completely broken, because whenever you try and find an individual map, it just says map not found or error, and a million reasons why you can't play on these different maps. I mean, it's like that Panzerstorm map, I think I've played it 2 or 3 times, and that's only when I've played a complete rotation on Conquest or something like that. I've never been able to specifically find that map. Don't know why. PlayStation issues or Battlefield 5 issues, I don't know. Anyway, So the assignment thing, yeah. So I'm trying at the minute. I'm trying. This guy, by the way, I've spawned on him about 50 times. He's just laying down on A, and anyone that sort of ambles in from their spawn, he's just killing them and rinse repeating. He must have an amazing KD or a terrible KD. I don't know how good of a shot he is, but yeah, just lying down there. A's been capped. There's no pressure from the enemy on A, and he's loving it. He's having a whale of a time. And I'm still trying to get B. Yeah, 14 out of 20. Yeah, wonderful. So yeah, I've made it to B, sort of. I'm in the cap area. I'm at 45 health or whatever, 50, 60 something health. Doing all right. Could be getting some meds. I'll go up here. I'll see what's going on. I'll bruise the area. I'll potato aim that guy and completely miss. And then the illuminations, as we like to call it, the Blackpool illuminations of snipers up on that ridge there are just like, there's your head, bang, you're dead. And that could happen 50, 60 times if the round's long enough. I'm sure it would have happened. If this round would have gone on for another hour, I'm sure they would have got a good 50, 60 kills on me. I wouldn't even say that's about my skill level. I wouldn't even say that's because I'm a good player or a bad player. I just think that's because it's so friggin' easy for them to do. Now, like I said, so this is the reason why I'm never playing a Battlefield game again and never buying a Battlefield game again. Because if the people who designed this level and the people that coded this level thought that this was a great idea for an attack-defense situation. I'd love to see the data on this map. I'd love to see how many incarnations of this map have occurred since launch, and how many times the attacking team have won with ease, or how many times the defending team have won with ease, what the difference is between kills and deaths on each team. But if they think that this is good coding, and they think this is a good way to make a video game, go fuck yourself. This is absolutely horrendous. Attacking uphill against a defensive team that has got literally thousands of places to hide, while the ability to snipe for both teams, granted for both teams, while the ability to snipe has become so much bloody easier in the last couple of incarnations of Battlefield. How they possibly thought that this was a good map design, it just completely baffles me beyond belief. The other thing as well is that the assignment that I'm working on, I hate to keep going on about assignments, but it's 20 kills in objective areas while attacking. Okay, so the second the flag flips from red to blue, even if you've not capped it yet, so technically, in my opinion, you're still attacking that objective because you've not capped it. The second it flips from red to blue, you're no longer attacking the objective in the assignment's eyes, and you have to base it. So there's plenty of situations in this where I've been on A and I've been like, right, I need to go to B now because getting kills here is useless to my fucking assignment. So I've just gone, right, fuck capping A, I guess. I mean, it'll flip eventually for the people who are staying, but I need to go and finish my assignment. So that's been completely redundant for me. And not to mention as well the fact that I still don't get the assignment done, regardless of how many kills I get while I feel like I'm on an objective. Or another thing just happened there as well. I've tried turning down the sensitivity, and I've tried turning aim assist off, and I've tried turning a million things off on PlayStation. But for some reason, every single time I ADS, for some reason I've got 3 control pads for the PlayStation 4. So unless I've broke them all in exactly the same way, I don't think it is me. But for some reason, every 10 or 15 times when I ADS, my fucking bayonet or shovel or whatever fucking melee weapon I've got equipped comes out. So I just look like a fucking complete ridiculous idiot when I'm trying to kill somebody. And I'm halfway through shooting them and I'm suddenly fucking wielding a shovel. So that's special. So the lying down issue where my guy's got fucking springy legs, that's amazing. But yeah, so this has been 28 minutes, 26, 27, 28 minutes of me moaning about fucking Hamada, but this is... There are plenty of things wrong with Battlefield 5, plenty of things. I think it's the most boring... I think the gunplay is way better, the grenade spam is way less, because Battlefield 1 was horrendous for grenade spam. This is boring, this is a boring Battlefield. I have no idea what the plans are for content over the next 12 months, probably not very much because it's not a premium model anymore. And that's why I'm done with Battlefield. This is it. You designed this game. This was your vision, whoever created this, and it is a horrendous vision. It is not fun. It's pretty terrible. And the drugs and I'm not even going to blame drugs because I think drugs are positive, but whenever you were smoking, pretty horrendous. So thanks but no thanks.